I used to think improving my art meant more practice. Practicing every day, all day, whole night sometimes. So I spent 5 years, probably more, grinding away. And even though I did enjoy it for the most part, I still always hit the same wall. Nothing felt immersive enough. My art didn't hold space for feeling. It was always telling a story but never made you feel it, like you were in it or part of it. So a little bit of a backstory, colors always terrified me. To the point where my sketchbooks were just a collection of sketches and doodles, rather than a full, colorful new world for me to escape to. Which is okay, but I craved more. A more immersive experience as I flipped through the pages. But the more I craved, the scarier it got. One day I was walking around in a huge bookstore filled with all kinds of books. And obviously I ran up to the art section just like any other artist would, to just find a solution to my fears. Countless of books about techniques were there. They all felt too scary to dive into though, and yet I still bought them. They ended up collecting dust on my shelves until I paid that bookstore another visit. And this time I was determined to find that one book that would get me out of this box I was in. And so I actually ended up finding that book. It caught my attention almost immediately, with a cover so simple yet complex. The Art of Gouache. That's when I realized, for so long I've lived in a cage that held me back from my real potential as an artist. I treated art like a way to draw cool stuff, but never deeper than that. But I'll give myself some more credit for just using art as a tool to create stories. I'll dive into 3 things that I noticed and tried, which transformed my art and the way my work looked, and 1 tip that transformed the way it felt. Everything I learned from that moment on, from Gouache's perspective, Gouache's process, and my own breakthroughs, flipped a switch in my brain. Ditching line art for form, since line art is just a cage you're trapping yourself in. The first thing I let go of when I improved, it was line art. For years, I'd built art like a coloring book, outline then fill, but Gouache never did that and I wondered why. And it was because he painted like he was sculpting, with light, not lines. When I started building form with value instead of outlines, it felt like I've unlocked some new level for my art. My characters finally had depth and not just detail. Lines can trap you, forms literally free you. The second tip is starting in grayscale. Colors used to stress me out. I'd slap it on and hope it looked right. And this especially happened when I did traditional art. I'd be too afraid to even continue or try again, or even look at tutorials and learn more about the right way to color. Partially because of my ego, but it was also because it was all so overwhelming and I didn't know what to do about it. Then I realized maybe if I tried to learn from tutorials on digital coloring, it would feel a bit less intimidating, because I could always just undo or duplicate a canvas or just duplicate the layers themselves. But something still felt missing. It still felt overwhelming until I saw the process of Gouache's work. He starts in black and white, mastering values first, and that's what made his work sing in any palette. When I switched to grayscale, I finally saw what made a piece feel real. Not just the hues, but the shadows, the light direction, the contrast. There was more to it than I ever thought. It's like drawing emotions before color. If you only take one thing from this video, let it be this. Light carries a story, not just color. I used to obsess over perfect little details as well, but Gouache showed me that clarity isn't the goal, feeling is. He leaves edges soft, backgrounds sometimes blurry, shapes just suggestive enough, and somehow that ambiguity tells a better story. So stop trying to give your paintings as much detail as possible and add the details way later at the rendering stage. Only to the main focus of the painting, which will help you develop a better flow and storytelling skills. When I started painting what things felt like, not what they looked like, my work finally connected, not just with others, but with me too. So the 4th tip is flow. Practice doesn't make perfect, it creates improvement and flow. It helps you understand how to paint and draw as though your pen is an instrument and you're playing with it, even dancing with it too sometimes. That's what makes your art less stiff, and gives it more feeling. So here's a little mini mindset shift. Zooming out to see your art's message. Sometimes I zoom out and ask, what is my art trying to say? Not what is it trying to show, but what is it trying to say? That's something that Gouache masters. Every piece feels like a memory or a dream. So now, before I even sketch, I write one sentence. Just one. She's tired of pretending, or this is what peace would look like. That's my compass. The art builds around the feeling. And if you're curious as to what I wrote for this piece I'm working on, I literally just wrote, she swallowed fairy dust. So yeah, it doesn't really have to be perfect, but this made sure that I don't forget the vibe I'm going for, so try it yourself and let me know how it goes. For this last tip, it's one that means so much to me. It has to do with the very core of this YouTube channel as well. It's about finding beauty, comfort, and healing through art. Society has told us for generations what to find beautiful and what to ignore. We're taught to chase what's unique or special, when really it's all around us. We miss the little things that make up everything. The beauty in the scar you've always hated. And I don't just mean physical scars. The subtle beauty in the silence you're not used to because you've overstimulated yourself with music and noise for so long, trying to live in the moment, trying to heighten your feelings, when you never needed to. You just needed time. You just needed to notice, to pay attention. When you're trying to move on, but instead of choosing to, you fill the silence with distractions instead of just being. But healing begins when we stop and see what's right in front of us, what's been right there in front of us, all along. So this tip, the reason it's your new why, is because it gives your work meaning. It's to observe, to notice, to find beauty in something, and use your artistic skill to document it. Because that's what real art is. It's like a journal of what made you feel, what broke you open, what made you soft again. Art is how we document the meaning of our lives, our little adventures, our pain, our healing. It's how we learn to love everything we once hated or found ugly. So here's a small piece from my journal, something I wrote when I was thinking about this. We're just small atoms trying to figure ourselves out. We're nothing compared to the big universe, but we're beautiful beings. Our lives begin and end. It makes us precious. And if you recognize that quote, it's by Rengoku from Demon Slayer, the anime. Anyway, so you know what? I don't really care if I'm special or not. I think I just want to make the most out of it, out of the beauty of life. I don't understand like 99.99999% of existence, how we came to be, how we end. I don't know any of it. And I'm not like certain of any of what I know anyway. But I do know one thing. I want to be happy. I want to explore Earth, learn and grow, go on adventures and try new things a tiny atom like me would have never imagined before. I want to see myself change into someone who can make those things happen. I want to figure out what I believe in and how I'll move forward. My journey is just beginning, and anything could happen. Sometimes my heart feels so happy it hurts. When I touch on something beautiful, even if just a little bit, just one moment of beauty, not even holding it, nor understanding it fully, it just feels exciting and terrifying and sensitive at the same time. I love it, yet I hate it at the same time because I'm scared of it. I wondered what I should do about that, but I think that's just part of truly living and feeling alive. It's a strange feeling I got after going deep into my artistic journey, and it might not make that much sense at all, but it's real. So here's a little homework for you. Not to change your preferences, but to help you feel more deeply. Think of a trait or a thing you've always found strange or even ugly in yourself or in others or in anything around you, and be honest about it. Draw it and notice its shapes, its structure, its rhythm, the way it flows. It doesn't have to become your favorite thing, but it might just become something you finally see, and maybe something you can finally love. So I just wanted to point out that this is not about copying Gouache or your favorite artists. I'm not trying to be someone else, and you shouldn't either. What I learned wasn't just technique, it was permission. Permission to stop drawing what's expected, to start painting what hurts, what heals, what comforts, to give myself permission to try new approaches that felt less intimidating than my fears, as a way to slowly reach a point where I faced little fears and can now face the bigger ones. Kuwai's work helped me reconnect with why I picked up a pencil as a kid, not to impress, but to feel less alone. This channel isn't about perfectionism, it's about peace. It's for anyone finding their voice again, including myself. Comment below I'm elevating my art if you're ready to take the leap and try something new, little by little. I'll be reading and replying because this space, it's for all of us. If you like this video, I'm sure you'll like the previous episodes of this art diary as well, so check those out to deepen your artistic side. And thank you for watching the third episode of the art diary.